Okay, hello. Okay, let's see. Before we do anything, I want to test something. Um, this is a test alert. Does this sound go through? Oh, it does. Wonderful, wonderful, nice. Oh, it does. Wonderful, wonderful, nice. Because what was happening earlier was that it was leaking through my mic, and that wasn't so good. There is one thing I need to fix though. My terminal is dead. Oh boy, it's going through my. Oh boy. Uh, I had that open for a second because I needed to actually hear the follow alert for myself. Okay, okay. So where were we? We wanted to turn the terminal back on and then get to it. So okay, awesome. I'm just gonna size this accordingly. And is that the one I was in? This is probably not it. Was it this? I forgot where I had been working. Oh well, doesn't matter. We are going to work with a fresh instance. Oops. So we need to get into what we're doing, and we need to it's 4 p.m. So we're gonna start here. And now, what were we doing the last time? We'd gone over some stuff for the brain, and let me go to my concepts window. Oh, by the way, I have a hand now. Okay. So this what we had gone over last time was just that how learning works, the hurdles that are faced in learning, and how teaching works. And after going through a bunch of papers, we basically barely found anything about teaching. Like, it was really hard to figure stuff out about teaching. And so we need to figure out how to essentially make this, like, we want to make teaching make sense. And the way that teaching seems to work is you want to trigger learning, right? Because that's logically what teaching is. And in order to trigger learning, you need to trigger this within students. You need to make them take info in, and you need to make them perform this. Now, taking info in is actually very easy. And it's just thinking about something and thinking about it in different ways sometimes. And most people are surprisingly decent at it. But what's the main struggle? Actually, I'd say there's decent at it if they're studying on their own. But in class, this becomes harder as well, with people distracting themselves and people distracting themselves even when studying and just all that jazz, right? So this is the hardest one out of the two, because it takes zero like mental pain to numb yourself to what the professor has to say and just ignore everything. But it's a lot of like, hello, Olac 4000. How are you doing today? This is not a math exam. We're learning about studying. Actually, the maths over here is pretty funny. Okay, get this. So, um, most people when they want to learn, right, they gotta take info in and they gotta put info out. So like this would be studying, and this would be actually practicing what you study, or like trying to remember it, talking to people about it, just trying to like pull it from your long-term memory, right? The more you do something, the better you get at it. And there's a imaginary XP multiplier, right? So if you do these two to an equal amount, right, you're going to keep that XP multiplier high. But if you go too long doing one or the other, it's gonna suck and you're not gonna learn as much. Which explains why people who play um, competitive games, for instance, if they just pump out 5,000 matches without ever doing an autopsy. Okay, don't worry. I'll turn it to TikTok stupid level. Um, do you play any competitive game like Valorant or Marvel Rivals or League or whatever the heck? Or Fortnite? So, do you play any of those? And if not those, Minecraft Bed War? So if you have any of those, I can move from there. And I'm sure you'll process this. Don't give up on yourself. So if you've played any of those, or you know anybody who plays like Valorant, Marvel Rivals, any of those games, uh kinda, yeah, sure, why not? So if you if there's many different ways to use to like do stuff in a certain Roblox server, right? Like imagine you make Minecraft in Roblox, and like Redstone allows you to automate stuff, right? If you just read how to automate stuff all of the time, then when it actually comes to making stuff, you're kind of gonna suck at it. I mean, you'll have a general idea of what you can do, but you still won't be able to really do it, especially if you have to do it on a time limit. But if you keep beating your head against redstone, you're not really going to learn how to make stuff with it. So the real balance and the real way to master redstone in Minecraft would be for you to like actually see how stuff are made, to make them, which would be in this case studying, and then knowing how this one thing is made, to try and understand how you can potentially make other things with it, which is to extract that info from your long term memory. And that's basically how you learn. You practice taking info in, you practice putting info out. And so that's TikTok brain stupid level, I think. If you, yeah, sure, this is a how to learn Redstone exam. And you see, when you're trying to, this a huge focus is on how to teach people to use Redstone. So if you use that, right, you can either go like, hello, this is my tutorial. Here we are going to be learning how to use Redstone. So if we throw a ball like this and it land, we will have Redstone. That doesn't really do anything, right? If you say that if you're on a cliff in Minecraft and you run this way and you fall into a bucket, that won't be as interesting. People are gonna zone out. They're gonna go like, "Oh my god, I don't want to calculate anything." Gosh, but you can mention the same thing in a different way to someone. You can go like, "Here's my freaking dog. I wanna toss, or so forget dog. Let's say I have TNT and I wanna toss it on my friend because my friend like he destroyed my chest full of diamonds." So that would be there. That even though that'd be a story and that'd be wasting a person's like mental space to hear, if they like the story, it'll help them not think about useless things, which then actually helps them focus, which is, counterproductive, because you'd be like, oh, all this extra yap, it's just gonna rot their brains. But if that yap takes the place of them thinking about what they're gonna eat tomorrow, right, then it's useful yap. It's yap that gets them to care about the topic. So a huge component of teaching is to try to frame stuff in a way that they understand more, which is, redstone rather than kinematics. And second is to try and reduce like wasted mental space, which is, sometimes removing their distractions, sometimes trying to, mostly just trying to remove their distractions, replace their distractions. So, oh yeah, let me put some music on that isn't on yet. Oops. There we go. Okay, wonderful. So, where is this? There we go. Yes, music. Okay, awesome. Uh, um, it's good to me. So, so yeah, I have it low. Is it too low? I'll turn it a little higher for you. Here we go. Is this better? Okay, wonderful. While I wait for that, we're gonna talk about what we're gonna do today. So, the goal, I'm gonna look at this stuff later. You don't hear it, you say. Let me check. It should be going through. Yeah, is it okay? Okay, awesome. Perfect. So, the goal for today. Oh, damn. Oh, geez. Okay, so the goal for today is to try and actually note down a lot of the stuff that we're going to be learning for education and how to teach, or pedagogy, which is the art of teaching. And one of the main things with that is just to kind of find out how to, well, add to what we have already. And what we have already? Not much. The reason why we don't have much is because after looking at about 6 papers, yeah, go for it. So after looking at 6 papers, we were in a situation where we just like, yeah, you know what? Maybe. Actually, we have some science for that. So remember how we were, remember how I was talking about wasted bandwidth, right? Wasted mental bandwidth. So get this. Situation A, a person's studying, right? And they're like, hey man, listening to music helps me focus, right? While that doesn't match science, right? Because in science, you have a limited amount of mental space. So if you're spending someone listening to music, you are not spending that studying, right? While that's true, it's not a lie for them to say that music's helping them focus. Because that same person without music, if they have so little mental control that they end up like thinking about going to a car and like hanging out with their friends instead, right? That would take away space from studying. So if thinking about a car makes them more distracted, then it's better for them to use Spotify. This is the magic behind it. So. Literally just like this, let's say option C, the Gen Z brain. This guy, right? He's trying to study and they aren't able to focus when they're trying to do it like while listening to music or this, right? But Subway Surfers on the side is helping them focus on their studies. So even though compared to like a monk over here who has practiced discipline and is able to pump out 98% focus on studying, 90% is damn good compared to like 65 over here. So you're actually not wrong. If you have primed your brain to be able to focus better on whatever you're looking at by watching Subway Surfers, then it's essentially the equivalent of listening to music while studying, which means it would actually help you study if it prevents you from thinking about like external things such as going to hang out with your friends. So yeah, see, okay, people say destroying your brain cells, but honestly, you know what destroys your brain cells? Not doing this. You need to think about things. Just allow yourself to think about things and never see anything as, too difficult to think about. Because actually attempting to think about things, like really thinking about things, is what grows your brain. The reason people talk about brain rot is because quote unquote brain rot is just funny content that's making you not think about anything useful in life. And okay, the word useful itself is pretty funny too. I mean, depends on what you're doing about thinking about depression. So like a bit depressive thought, right? So, okay, first of all, I'm not a therapist, so I'm not going to be giving you advice about how to fix depression. But if you're talking about just thinking about depression and learning, then I can say this. If you have, say, negative thought over here, right? Bad thought. Now, if you want to really think about it, right? It's not just boohoo life bad, right? Boohoo life bad might be true, but boohoo life bad actually has multiple components in it. One, like, what do others do in this situation? Others do, right? And then if you think of that, right, what others do in the situation, that leads you to collect data. How many people have, like, what are the different paths someone can go? No, that's not supposed to be data, that's data. So, 1, get better. 2, be the same. 3, get worse. Right? Logically, those are the only possible paths they can go to. Now, knowing that, knowing whether you, like, what others do and what works for them, now you find out how for all of them. Oops, that says question mark. So, how for all of them? So, how do people get better, same, or worse? Well, for this, you go to a therapist. But to actually, reach this point, actually, you don't just need to go to the therapist. You can always just rely on data to find out. Any good strategies in what? Math? Oh, no idea. I assume NAT is probably some game mode in either Minecraft or... Okay, so sweats is actually a very funny term because sweats tend not to actually be trying. So the amount of effort that goes into doing something is very funny because, okay, get this. What do you consider to be higher effort? Okay, consider these two possibilities. One guy plays 1 hour a day and watches 30 minutes men's of watch. So this is person A. This is person B. 7 hours a day. Who's sweatier? A or B? Yep. So, but who's sweatier? A or B? Okay, 12 hours or if not more. Wonderful. Okay, so who's sweatier? A or B? Statistically speaking, this guy would be a better player. Pumping numbers does very little to actually grow your brain. Yeah, who's the sweat amongst these two? The guy who's playing better is gonna be A. Because this guy basically past the 1.5 hour point is learning nothing. And is just pumping numbers. So like 5.5 hours get wasted. And while you could do that, if you really want to improve, then you want to actually have this process. Remember how I was talking above about consumption and mindful extraction, right? What you're saying about PvP, all PvP is competitive. So if you're talking about sweats, any game mode that has sweats, right, is a game mode you can, I mean, yeah, that's fine. A lot of people waste time. It's just how, I mean, if you had fun, it's not really a waste of time. It depends on how you see your time. If your purpose is to have fun, then, and you have fun by just playing for a bunch of hours, then it's a great use of time because you accomplished what you were going for. But if your goal, if you have fun by winning, then in that regard, it would have been a waste. So it depends on how you define fun and like how you define waste. So if your goal, if we throw away fun entirely, and if your goal is just to get better, then you want to be A, not B, because you past this point, you're not really going to grow. So let me actually put waste in quotes here. So like, if that's your goal, then this is what you want to do. And actually that's true for every single competitive game that you can think of. Any place where there's a human versus human interaction, any place where you have a human versus human, you need to like actually learn what went wrong. Why did you lose? Yeah, actually this is exactly it, right? So you pump 7 hours a day. Do you know why you didn't win? Is it simply they click better? Why do they click better? Just like, be like a kid. They click better. Why? So we can diagnose this right now. Why are you losing? Who's beating you? Let's figure them. Let's learn about them. So the sweat, who are they? What are they doing? Why are they winning? You gotta get auto clicker, keyboard clicker. No, clicking better doesn't mean clicking faster. It means having more effective clicks. If you have a gun and it runs out of ammo instantly, that means your auto clicker is just kind of gonna do nothing. So I don't know. I don't know how Hex PvP works. So what do they do? What are they doing? Why are they winning over you? Do we know anything about that? Right? Is it like using a sword in Minecraft? I don't know about Mindustry, but Hex PvP, sure. Because that's something that's player versus player. I mean, real-time strategy is PvP. Real-time strategy is to be playing against other human beings, right? Or... oh well, we're not gonna be going into, like... actually, okay, I understand. So, we're not going to be going into, like, what exactly it is, but what matters over here is, okay, if they are better than you, why? So, if they're better than you, what makes them better? What makes them quote-unquote sweaty? So, can we define that? Why are they sweaty? Let's unpack this word. So, what are they doing that makes them sweaty? Let's find out. So what is sweaty? Oh, so fast. So why are they fast? How can you become fast? Better schemes? What do you mean by schemes? You mean like just better controls? Oh, like better strategy. Oh, I see. Yeah, so they're faster than you. Wait, no, but better strategy is not better reaction time. I don't know what. Oh, schematics. Okay. So one, they have schematics, whatever that is. So which means maybe they watched a guide or a video or something, right? And two, they have better strategy, which also they probably like watched a guide or something. Strategy. So, and three, you said they have better reaction time. So, how do you get this? How do you get this? We need to find out how to get better schematics. Is I mean, it's not like they're like dad bought them the schematic, right? So if it's something that they managed to do, then why do we not have this? So you're saying they browsed for a lot of time. So our assumption is that they spent 12 hours browsing. Is this the only way? That you have to do all of it yourself? So wait. One, we think they put in a lot of effort, and two, we think we don't put in any effort. Right? Everyone sucks at something before they get good at it. So we have these two assumptions, right? That they spend 12 hours browsing and that we are lazy. Right? How do we know this? And how do we know this? So basically the same as like what I said about like actually thinking deeper about things. And you were talking about depression and thinking deeper about it. Why? Why do we think he has... That's not a very nice thing to say about yourself. Wait, but even the word no life suggests that you're using your life on something that's unfulfilling, right? So what are we using our life on then? And same thing over here. They're spending 12 hours browsing. How do we know that? What data do we have to support this? Do we have any actual data? Like, do you know anybody in real life who's doing this and is that good? Did you ask them what they do? Okay. That must be fun to do at least, I guess. So anyways, do we know anybody who's this good? Have we asked them what they're doing? We've assumed this, right? This is an assumption. That they spend 12 hours browsing. And we also are assuming that if we spend 12 hours browsing, we too will be that good at schemas. Nice. So we too are assuming this, right? And in terms of learning, what we know from what we studied, to actually spend that much time also seems statistically unlikely, because past like an hour of looking at it, you would have insane brain rot, like an hour and a half. So which means they need to be doing more than just looking at schemas. They might have tested different schemas. So where they might have played with every schema for 1 hour each for like 20 days. So 20 days, 20 different schemas, playing 1 hour each, and then spending 30 minutes thinking about them. So they would have needed to spend about 20... They would have needed to spend about 30 hours total of gameplay for that. So yeah, just exploring, allowing themselves to think about it. The more you think, the more you get better at thinking. Yeah, really. I mean, go for it. Do you know how to analyze its efficiency well? How often do you do that, right? Stuff like that. Actually, going into thinking will help you improve at stuff. This guy, like, this person is very unlikely to be browsing for 12 hours of just looking at schemas. And just like, if you really want to know what effort they're putting in, just ask someone. Find someone who you think fits this and ask them what they did. And that's probably the fastest way for you to get data, right? Because this is an assumption, right? So best way to deal with an assumption, challenge it, get data. What's the problem? That means you have no data, so you don't know how sweaty they are. Have you? Well, I suppose if you message them and they don't ever respond, it's going to become harder. So maybe like join a server or watch some videos or see if you can interact with someone who fits like what you think is sweaty. Because I assure you, the idea of sweaty is very funny because of just the like how things end up boiling up. I mean, boiling down. Usually people have negative perceptions about things that are unknown. So what you do is you have to know them, like literally just like learn about them, talk to them, figure it out. Because this is what this actually is, right? Is cope. And cope leads to nothing. It accomplishes nothing. It's just a way to feel better about not being able to become this. And it's just some funny picture that you can tell yourself that, oh man, look, they're putting more effort than me, therefore I'm losing. But what if they just like aren't? What if they hang out with their friends, they get like drunk and high, and then they get on the game and just end up wiping the floor with you? Oh, this is not a circle, this is a 0. Yeah, nothing means nothing. But you know, nothing can be everything too. It's the infinite and the unfinite. Okay, so time to get into the papers. So, let's see what we're gonna go with. Student research work, basic science concepts. Meaningful learning of basic science concepts. Don't worry, listen, nobody's too stupid for anything. Because as we were looking in our previous thing, you get good at stuff by doing it. So the way to stay bad is to just not do things. So if you never attempt to walk as a baby, you never learn to walk. That's the same for all of life. You never read, you're not going to get good at reading. You never think, you're never going to get good at thinking. You never remember stuff, you'll never get good at remembering stuff. Like, the earlier you give up at doing something, the worse you'll get at it. You never attempt to do art, you'll never get good at art. You never try to code, you'll never get good at coding. Just anything. Do means suck at it. Means do leads to good at it. And the only thing over here is, I mean, fair enough. That's another assumption. You see this, what I wrote here? So you see what I wrote over here? Like this, all of this, how hard is this? Like, does it seem simple enough to follow? You do things, you suck at it, you do more, you become good? Does that seem simple to you? In terms of like, you know, logic? This is essentially code. It's saying, if you do, my cursor is covering half of it. Ooh. Good point. I'll reduce the space my shirt is taking. Or maybe I'll reduce its transparency. Maybe. Can I do that right now? Let's see. Let's real quick see if we can reduce the transparency on this. So, where are we? Okay. Ooh, I think I might have increased its transparency by mistake. Oops. VHand, filters. We are going to wait. Maybe. Ah, I got it. Nice. There we go. Now you should be able to see this way better through my hand. So where were we? So you see, like, this, like, if you do something you suck at, you do it more, you get good at it. That's literally if, do, suck at, right? Or and if, do x 1000, or do equals 1000, double equals 1000, sure. If you do it 1000 times, yeah, pretty much. So if you do it 1000 times, you get good. And that's it. Like, this is code. It's just a way to represent this. If you can speak in English, you can code. Code is just a way to write English. So, I mean, if you can't speak in English at all, that's a whole other thing. But like, if you're able to say things in English, so if English, then you can code. It's as easy as that. And so, like, I mean, you can say you're bad at coding, and that coding is some kind of black magic, but I guess English is black magic too by that comparison. So, do things. Whatever you do, you'll get good at. And it's impossible for you to defy data there. Like, if you study and do things, when you hit 1000 hours in it, you're going to be at least somewhere between here. You should, your life experiences will teach you otherwise in the future. But anyways, if you put in 1000 hours and do something, it's impossible for you to not be between, oops, I should put this here. Okay. It's impossible for you to not be between the like top 10% or top 30% of people. And neither does code. Code doesn't need to know complicated stuff in English. Code is just saying, if you can do this, then do this, or if you are this, then you can do stuff. And even over here, like, all of this is just fancier ways to write basic English, right? So let me see. So, like, education is a human right. It's fairly simple English. People should study. Everyone should be allowed to study. But then people still drop out sometimes. And sometimes it can be because sometimes, like, teachers feel like students act up, and that's not quite true to reality. Like, the reality of things can sometimes be that there's more going on than simply students acting up. And the grade that people get tends to be aligned with that, about what people feel is the case rather than what actually is the case. So a lot of the times, final marks don't actually show you as much about, like, the student's personal life as much as it shows you, like, they don't lead as much to I was wrong there. They mostly just end up showing where a person's going to end up in, like, as a job, or generally how their mental health is going to be regarding, well, being happy or having good self-esteem. So their grades lead to their future emotional state, which sucks. And there's a lot of helplessness that students are going to learn, because they're going to go like, damn, I suck at this. And it's impossible to not suck, because see, the thing is, if you walked, you can't say you don't know how to learn. We learn how to learn as babies, we forget it when we go to school, and we have to learn it again. And if you're alive enough to be able to understand the words I'm saying on this stream, then you're too late, you've already learned. If you hadn't, you wouldn't have made it to a website successfully. I mean, probably there's gonna be some people who didn't manage to make it here because they never got that smart, but this is the life of logic. you oh shit, this is so far down. What the hell? Why is my chat all the way down there? You go up there. There we go. So anyways, this is the life of logic. You see, things will exist the way that they do regardless of what you want to think or feel about them. So do thing, become good. Do suck. Why do you suck? This, by the way, this is an XP booster. This is just in like you don't necessarily have to do this, but this can save you like a solid 800 hours in a 1000 hours process. No, I'm scared of heights. No. This can save you 800 hours in your 1000 hours of being trash. So you can either think about why and then proceed and get good, and it'll take you 200 hours. Or you can burn 1000 hours to reach the same point. So that's just life if you want to get good at stuff. So a lot of like grades end up getting associated with so much for people, and so it becomes way more complicated than just like how well you're performing academically. It becomes like how your friends are going to treat you, how people are going to see you. People are going to see you as less of a person simply because of your marks. All of that sucks a lot, because people talk, and a lot of the way that you feel about yourself and your ability and your relationship with education has to do with how your relationship to society is because of that education. So when kids make fun of you for being the kid who gets the lowest grades, that can lead to you becoming like depressed or sad, and that sucks. And so it's a huge job for teachers to the current biggest hypothesis we have, right, is that we have let's say there's 10 kids in your class, right? There's A, B, so I don't know, man, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? This guy might be pretty smart. Thing that never happened in the universe. Okay. So people are going to usually try to find some kind of way to be to have some kind of like, sometimes they're going to be trying to be superior, sometimes they're going to like try to map that with like a person's social understanding, it'll be a person's humor, it'll be a lot of different things, but studying is one of them. Like if you see, there's one thing to like look at this guy, right? He's pretty average, but there's one thing to be that one kid, or to be one of these two, which are just like the ones struggling the most in this regard. So to like, and not just that, these guys are gonna beat themselves up. They're gonna go like, oh man, math isn't for me, I am an art person. Or the other way around, they're gonna go like, art isn't for me, I'm a math person, I can only do this one thing. If I'm not good at it going into it, then it's not for me, because I am going to only do things that I'm good at. And this is ego. The ego gets so hurt at being bad at something that they only stick to things that they're good at. And this is something that there's a long journey to beat. Like, people spend all their lives, sometimes they never even end up figuring it out. But to conquer this ego is one of the biggest challenges, to learn humility. And humility doesn't mean beating yourself up, by the way. If you're in an Asian country, you're often going to be told that humility is to say that you got an 8 on 10, right? They're going to think that humility is not that good, not great, right? This is what you're going to hear in a lot of Asian countries, right? Or you're going to say that it's like, I don't know, best ever, cool beans, right? Or you're going to say, boo hoo, right? Lol, that's humility. Anyways, humility is to be humble, right? So if you want to be humble, it's not this, it's not this, it's not this. You know what 8 on 10 is? 8 on 10 is 8 on 10. It's a number. If you want to be better, then you just try to be better. If you want to see how it is relative to other people, then you look at percentile. You see rank in class. So you look at maybe it's rank 1, right, in your class. Rank 1 is rank 1. This doesn't mean you're better or worse than anyone. Maybe you'll be rank 8 the next time. But rank 1 is rank 1. If you go back in time and had to bet on who to win, you would bet on rank 1, right? If a person constantly gets rank 1, that's data. That means they're likely to get rank 1 again. It simply is what it is. It's not, there's no magic social benefit or negative thing to it. And that's what humility is, to have accurate self-perception, to understand yourself, to just know that, you know, it would not be wrong to say, if you're a person who constantly gets the highest score, it would not be wrong to say that you understand how to get better scores better than your classmates. That would be supported by the data. So you want to be humble? Easy cheat. Present data as data. So 8 on 10 is 8 on 10. It doesn't mean anything more than that. And see, well, present data is data, and to, I guess, yeah, I guess that's it. Accurate self-perception is to know where you stand. Oh yeah, and make judgments based off of data. Make non-emotional judgments, or non-judgmental, or yes, non-judgmental or non-emotional, or completely logical. Make logical assessments. We'll see about gaming, but we're here to learn together, as the rules would have showed as well. I mean, there were rules when you enter chat. So the whole point here is to try and grow our brains and to learn to see. Look, do you know the meaning of this word? Agency. Fair enough. Do you know the meaning of this word? Fair enough. So agency is to actually, let me pull out the definition. What is the exact meaning of it? Condition of being in action, modes of acting, instrumentally. Damn it. That definition sucks. It doesn't have exactly what I'm looking for here. Okay, yeah. The ability to take action or choose what action to take, right? So the ability to take action. Good for them. So, so agency is the ability to take action, right? And what that means is, what do you want? Why don't you have it? How to get it? And when will you have it by? This is agency. To be able to actually trust in yourself to be able to do this. What do you want? Why don't you have it? How do you get it? And when? And there's an idea of locus of control, which is fancy words to say agency, which is how much are you responsible for in your life and how much are other people responsible for your life. So I'm going to move the scary word away and basically like what you want to do, and the whole purpose of teaching is to like make you realize if you want something, take it. And if you don't take it, that means you don't want it. Or you don't care enough about it to do what you can to get it. Because honestly, by being human, you can accomplish most things that you want. It's just the path is going to be weird. And if you want to find that path, you just find... Okay, get this. There's a game and it has no guides online, right? And it makes no sense how to play that game. How do you play that game? Like, there's a game, looks cool, but you can't figure anything out about it. Game that's cool, but you have no idea how to play it. So what do? It has no guides online yet. It just came out, like, and your friends played 10 hours of it. What do? Logically speaking, I mean, you could do that, but then everyone's having fun and you're not, and so now you're sad. So if you really do want to find out, then you ask a friend, right? How are you playing this? Why is it working for you and not for me? And if you do that, that's data. Well, everyone struggles with negative emotions. And negative emotions are actually, there's a funny thing about this. So, not doing what you want, so no goal, means you'll be sad. And being sad because you have no goal will make you have no goal. And unfortunately, to break the cycle, you have to be sad and work on a goal. You have to decide to do something and start doing it. Because otherwise, this is just going to keep moving like this. You'd be surprised how universal that sentiment is, and not just for country to country basis, but across all of time. If you're going to read writings from people in the 1200s, it's going to be the exact same as what we're typing on Twitch chat right now. So you have to break the cycle, as hundreds of millions of people have done before you. Which just means either you can do this now, or you can wait until like 30 years later, you realize that you can do this. So it's gonna be one of these. Well, if you're too lazy, that means you're gonna figure this out at like 30 years later. Which is fine. For some people it's 50. But for most it's 30, so just like, you'll figure it out. Oh, then just like be sad, I guess, if you want to be sad. It's you find out very late in life that happiness isn't something that's just given to you, it's a decision. You choose to be happy. You choose to do the things that make you happy. Great for you. So, amongst teaching methods, right? One of the things, Finnish. That's fairly close to Poland, right? Let's see. They looked at the way people were feeling emotions and blah, blah, blah. Academic results used to lead to their future selves getting affected by it. And I'm not very sad. I'm pretty happy. Okay, so a school has had several functions in addition to sharing knowledge. And yeah. So you know how a lot of like people have parents at home, but then when they like go to school, yeah, no. Oh yeah, right. You were just repeating what I was saying, to, like, you know, just like laugh at it. Yeah. I mean, hey, look, man. If somebody gains happiness from being sad, I mean, I don't have to understand it to say that, you know, it's good for you. I wish I had that power. So, what happens, right? In what's the thing? Yeah, what happens when you exit home and you start going to school is that teachers kind of have a role to play in kind of being a role model and actually soft parent like teachers. I don't know, man. It's some magic you have. Hey, look. It's your magic. I'm not the one. I'm not questioning it. I told you what you can do if you want to break the cycle, but if you don't, then, you know, that's on you. What if you actually, there is a third solution here. See, okay, if you feel that, if you're saying, I don't want to break it, and that actually means I don't know how to, or that I'm scared, then, you know, there's a third solution here. You go to a therapist. And if you're able to do that, they will guide you on how to break the cycle. And then you break the cycle. So you have options. You either break it yourself, and if you find happiness in being sad, then you don't need to break it. But if you're just scared and don't know how to break the cycle, then you can get help by finding help. Well, then you're back up here, where you are honest about finding fulfillment and happiness within sadness, which is a interesting take. Okay, so where were we? In some languages, the word for teacher was actually the same as that for a priest, and so that actually made very like humanistic expectations within teachers, where you really think of them as a parent or as someone who's supposed to guide you and help you out, and, you know, be kind of someone you can go to for comfort. That's so cool. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a role of a teacher anyways, to try and make students feel like it's trying to empower students to actually, you know, find the kind of the word for a vicar, which is, I think, just a priest, was a word for them for like for teachers, and that's so cool. Let's see. Humanistic education. Okay, what we want to find out. Okay, so let's just reorient so that we can get the ball rolling. So what do we want? Right? I have it in my notes over here, actually. Let's go here. So what do we want? This wasn't for a religion, this was for a region. So what do we want out of these research papers is finding some kind of best learning strategy, right? So we're going to be reorienting. Instead of going through entire research papers, we're going to look at what strategies are used, So we're gonna look at like what they're doing and what the data for it suggests, rather than reading the whole paper. So what is the ultimate best teaching method, right? So let me actually put this here. If we want to, let me close this and open the planner. Okay, you want to do something, right? Anything in life. The very first thing is you need to want to do it. What do you want? That's fine. You want to plan, right? You want to become good at, you want to get a six-pack, sure. So you want a six-pack, you first have to want it. Then you do what you need to do to get it. And then you have it. It's as simple as that. Anything in life you want, you can get by following this plan. You want to get like rank 1 in Fortnite, you are going to need to want it. You're going to need to do what you need to do to get there. And then you'll become rank 1. Well, you find out how people got it. You do what they did. And you get it. Unless it was, since it's a game, it's probably like limited time stuff. So this won't work for time-bound activities as much in that way, but oh, sucks. But you can get something that makes you as happy as a Titan cube, or you can get rich. If you want a Titan cube for selling, you can get rich. So you want to be rich, right? You want to be rich. You find out how people get rich from where you're standing. So where are you now? Where will you stop, or where do you want to go, and how? So like that's the plan. Okay, so what this essentially is suggesting, right, is that what we want is to have some kind of good way to teach, right? We want a good way to teach because we don't know how to teach. So that's what we want. And if you want something like that, what is good teaching, right? What is the goal of quote unquote good teaching, right? Because it could be a billion different things. I could say it's something that makes a student happy, right? But that's not my goal here. My goal is to find something that is effective regardless of how happy the student is. And so to define that, I'd use an analogy, right? Which is just a way to frame it. So how to teach well? Well, teaching well would be a win button. You press a button, you have info save in head forever. It's like pressing Control S. You look at book, you immediately know everything inside it. That would be the perfect type of teaching in my brain. I'm sure you'll understand their strategy a lot more once you grow up. But the idea here is that the idea of giving 200 pages is that it's given a time frame so that you have self-paced learning, so that you can learn as you wish, and you can learn like 5 pages every couple days or something. So, well, okay, when I say grown up, I don't mean age, my bad. My goal is, what I'm suggesting is, like, suppose learning to a higher education level. I suppose like doing your master's or your PhD, or sometimes I think your bachelor's should be sufficient for that as well. But anyways, in high school it's pretty confusing. So so the idea here is that if you want to like learn something, a theoretical master, like the best possible strat would be something that you can do. Like, we don't care about fast as much, because I guess that would be one of those. Yeah, fast would be one of the things. So fast. But I think it's limited by mental bandwidth. Anyways, so what do we want? We want something that's easy to follow. So like something that if I say you do A then B, you're always going to end up like learning that thing from just pressing the button. You press the button, the information goes in. Easy to follow. If I say press the button, nobody can mess it up. Right? The second is that it has a like 100% success rate at whatever you're hoping to get from it. Right? So if you want to learn something and you, for example, see a picture of some dude, right? And you press a button, you should be able to, oh, thanks for the lyric, TCAF. So if you see a picture of some dude, right? And you want to be able to replicate entirely, theoretically, if you press a button, boom, you're able to, all of a sudden, you just know exactly how to replicate it. You want a tutorial which is not at all complicated as to how to learn to use a nuclear reactor on a Roblox game? Well, you want to do that. It actually falls over here. When we were talking earlier about like the roles of a teacher, right? What you're hoping for is for some person to package the info better. So you can learn it without having to use your brain. Which means whoever your teacher is needs to put stuff in a way where there's less connected ideas. So they want to avoid using scary words which you don't have too much. I haven't set up a lurk command, but the idea kind of goes through anyways, right? So if someone's saying !lurk, it suggests like I can imagine what it means, right? It doesn't need to produce text for it to have the same effect. So I'll set that up later. It's not really a priority. So what matters to them is that I got to know that they're lurking, and that's that acknowledgement is nice. So where was I? Yeah, so you want to learn how to make that thing, you have to find a guide that is has less connected ideas, right? So they put in simple words. They end up priming you properly, which is like, for example, they end up giving a good, like, they go like, step A, we're going to make this thing. Step B, we're going to make this thing. And step C, we're going to make this thing, right? And that makes it very easy for you to mentally comprehend where you are over here, right? So that's what priming is. So which means the moment you do a certain number of things, you know for a fact that you at least know this much. So that's priming. And senses is to then associate it with your senses, which I don't think can quite be done with a Minecraft nuclear reactor, but it's useful for many different things. Actually, it can be done. They can make a song about it. They can make a song about how your nuclear reactor would work and what steps go into making it. And if such a song existed, you would be able to very easily learn to make that reactor. So yeah, what was it? The Roblox nuclear reactor. My bad. So yeah, if they made a song about this Roblox nuclear reactor, you would then know how to make a Roblox nuclear reactor. Or an acronym. Like if there's I don't know, brick, steel, earth, air, brick, right? You could make it something like I don't know, Billy sells each airbender. You can have something like this, and just by remembering something like this, a picture of some dude selling airbenders, or sells to each airbenders, I don't know. If you remember an idea like this, now instead of remembering brick, steel, earth, air, brick, right? You can just remember this dude who's selling stuff to airbenders, and boom, this complicated idea has been converted to a picture. And so that reduces the amount of mental bandwidth it takes to absorb that info. So that's what you're looking for. Anyways, social relationships are very important for learning, right? And our goal with these social relationships would be to kind of understand that the teacher's impact on a student can cause the student to, be certain ways. It's directly correlated with their motivation. It's correlated with the amount of info going in. It's correlated with how they actually feel about studying as a whole. It's how they feel about that subject. So many different things. One bad teacher can ruin an entire topic of learning for you, which is insane. Like, if you have one bad math teacher, you might be scared of math for most of your life. Or a bad art teacher. So, the impact a teacher has in their relationship with the student can change a lot. Anyways, we want to kind of move faster over here, because what we're hoping for over here is to find things more relevant to actually getting better at teaching and how should we teach. So our thoughts over here are that we want to have wait, actually I should put those things down over here. So what's easy, right? Everything we find isn't guaranteed to fit all the boxes, but even if something fits some of the boxes, we can derive insights from that. So we have, oops, I keep moving back there, but okay, let's see. We have easy to follow, and we have sure, as in high success rate. We have something that's easy to follow. We have something that's high success rate. We have low pre-work. And we have fast. Those are our 4 criteria. And so what we're hoping here is to find more things for that. And over here, there's this paper called Inspiring Educators, and so pedagogy means styles of learning, right? So what we're hoping for over here is to kind of see what ways. This is the lesson that 99% of tutorials on YouTube can learn. Yeah, honestly, if you look at these tutorials, right, they just need to have some criteria that they want to do and fulfill that criteria. A lot of tutorials may lose sight of their goals if they lose sight of their goals when they just try to get info out, but getting info out the right way can do a lot. Plus, it'll make people like things more. There is one thing we can do for this, by the way. So besides this, there's the hurdles. Let me put the hurdles down over here. So limited mental bandwidth and wasted mental bandwidth. So how can we do this? We have something that reduces waste. That's one of our criteria, right? Because human beings are unfortunately very human. They struggle from distractions. They struggle from actually not being able to control how fast their brain moves, and they struggle from slipping over bananas in their brain. And how do you fix that? Well, there's a funny little move which is something like this. I don't want to put that in my YouTube history, but I could put up a little Subway Surfer over here. Ooh, Subway Surfer, ooh, Subway Surfer, ooh. And that would make you be able to follow this more. And so something that can fit in the focus here, if I put a funny meme image here, right? Boom, the amount you're absorbing becomes more, because you're never gonna feel like, oh no, my brain too small for this. You're gonna say, haha, funny frog picture. If I could draw a haha funny frog picture, I would have had it here right now. So one moment, I have to hydrate. So our goal in all of this is to find things that we can reuse. So one of the things is, let me move these things down. Shoo, get out. Shoo. What's at the bottom of the screen? Ooh, yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on down there. But hey, by the way, if there's anything you've learned from here, one thing you should definitely keep in mind is that the word sweaty is it's cope for the most part. So just be if there's anything you take from this at all, not even the learning stuff, take this, that the moment you are able to get over coping and actually doing something about it, that's the moment you grow. Because cope has never solved problems. So, where were we? We want something that reduces mental bandwidth. So 1, let me put in light. Where is this? Boom. Oh shit. Boom. And I move this up. Nice. So 1 is to try and keep students engaged, right? Speaking of, let me do something. How loud is that? Let me turn it slightly up, I guess. How's this? Nice. So you wanna keep students engaged. Right? And this means... Ooh, I should number these so that I can better actually express my points. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how hard is it to keep students engaged? Depends on your strat, right? So random meme slides, right? Meme slides on your presentation is... It's easy. Oops, let me get this out. It's easy. It's sure. It reduces mental bandwidth. And it's fast. It does not have low pre-work because you actually have to find out. You have to kind of have a sense for... Well, it's not easy, I suppose. A teacher who sucks at making memes won't be able to make memes all that much. Or actually, I'm going to instead make it... it's easy, but it's not sure because teachers can suck at making memes sometimes. So having meme slides helps students stay engaged, and that's like, you know, a way to teach. That's something that helps you teach. Boom, that's number 1. Number 2, we need something that helps people feel empowered. Oh, right, yeah. We don't make them not hate us. So manage their emotions. So you need to kind of work in a way that a student doesn't start hating your class or like feeling really bored. And like, so this is handling their boredom. And this is handling their emotions. So managing their emotions is really hard to do, but it's very fulfilling, and you kind of don't have a choice. Because legit, like if you tell a student to stop asking questions, you're gonna kill that student from the inside. It's rough. I mean, depends on the person, honestly. Like some people like seeing how hard it can be. Some people like exploring for themselves. Actually, this is a good thing you've mentioned here. If you want to empower them, right? If you want to make someone feel like, you know, a game is nice, you want to empower them. And what this means is, look, when some dude picks up a game, right? And it's like, if it's a shooter game, and the moment they walk out of base, they get insta-gibbed by just being instantly killed the moment they look at someone, they're gonna feel bad. They're gonna go like, man, this game sucks. I can't do anything, right? To empower someone is to show them how to How, with guidance or with their own hands. So balancing guidance, guidance with their own decisions. Yeah, I mean, that just means you would be a bad teacher, but I mean, sucks for them to not be able to play the game despite having a bad teacher. So, so to be able to balance the guidance you provide them and still giving them space to fail and space to make their own decisions, that would be how you would empower them. Space to fail non-judgmentally. So, yeah, space to fail non-judgmentally. One of the things with students is that one of their worst judges is themselves, right? A lot of the times when you lose at a game, you're not as frustrated because because other people think you suck. You are frustrated because you think you suck. But you want to remove the frustration with sucking. Help. So you want to help them learn to... One second. Help learn to either enjoy failing, like always have something that they're able to get as a breadcrumb despite failing, or to enjoy growing, which is kind of the same as failing. But if you're able to do these two, one of these two, you're gonna have the person like actually playing that game even when you stop playing with them, because they're actually, you know, enjoying one of these. And most people, by the way, you gotta teach any guy you want to introduce to a game to enjoy failing and what to fail all the time. Unfortunately, that's false. See, the thing is, if a person's enjoying failing, then they'll grow at the game naturally, which means they will stop failing. Anything done having fun will naturally end up like growing, because that's how the brain works. Remember what I said way back? For anything you do, you suck. You do more, you get good. So, logic strikes again. Haha. Wait, let me use my hand for this. Oop. Logic strikes again. Mwahahahaha. So, yeah, literally, just like the more people focus on winning, the more people, okay, so for copyright reasons, I'm probably not gonna pick anything that's not from Undertale or Delta Rune. So I'll note it down. What does IITPP stand for? Maybe in a future stream, if I find that it's like safe to use, I might use it. So can you tell me what it stands for? I'll have to be sure, which I can't do on stream right now. So it's called Invotino Inc. Thermal Power Plant OST. Is it on Spotify? Invotino Thermal... Oh, sorry. Pino Ink Thermal. Innovation Inc. Oh, okay. You had misspelled innovation. I see. Yeah, it seems to be on Spotify. Innovation Inc. Thermal Power Plant. Let me share this link and you can see how it looks to you. So where is that? Are these the sounds you're looking for? Na 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 na. Oh, I'm vibing with this right now, so I'm gonna put it on. Oh, actually, I have one more track to put. Ruder Buster. Yeah. And I'm gonna add this to my playlist, and I'm going to add it to the queue. And in fact, I'm going to play this now. And queue. There we go. Boom. Okay, nice. I'll check it out later. So yeah, where were we? Right, let me close this. Right, so if you want your friend to play this game, you want to have them learn how to enjoy failing, and that'll don't worry about it. Even if you end up confirming, right, I'll do my own research because that brings me comfort. Besides, it's my stream. So I choose the copyright thing because I have to put a message, like even if it's like under a certain license, right, which most soundtracks are, I'm gonna have to put like a little message snippet which mentions that, hey, I'm using this license under this permission, blah 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 blah. So that would be suckish as well, and I wouldn't want to stop stream midway to put that into my like stream text. So we are going to be moving ahead, and I'll note it down for the future. So you want to have them like engaged, which means actually there's supposed to be some kind of feedback loop, which is actually so important. Oh my god. So having some kind of feedback loop, right? Having some kind of feedback loop. Oh, by the way, what do you think of like let me turn music a little down. Hey, what do you think about like these sounds, these drawing sounds? Are they cool? Do you like them? Do you think it's too loud or something, or too weird? How do you think about it? What do you feel about it? I can care for the stuff I want to care about. So small streamers aren't small. Oh, you don't hear these? Like when I do this, you don't hear it? That sound isn't going through? Okay, one moment. Maybe I have my audio settings a little funky. Okay, I see. So it should be like kind of. Let me turn it a little up. How's this? Ooh, nope. Okay, let me try something. How's this? Do you hear it now? Oh, really? Okay, one moment. Oh, you hear this? Oh, wait. I see. There's a little bit of stream delay. I see. Nice. Okay, perfect. So, is it cool? How loud is it? How's it sounding to you? Ain't that loud? Would it be cooler, louder? Or so should it be like something like this? One moment. Ooh, actually, I know where it's set from. So, audio. Ooh, that's as loud as it gets. perhaps I go here and I turn this a wee bit up. So where's... And I put it just a little bit higher. So... Okay, fair enough. Anyways, yeah, okay. Kindness and link to educator success. Educators who can identify students who form strong relationships can improve, like, yeah, you know, that's managing their emotions, to have strong relationships. And managing their emotions, by the way, is a... Speaking of, I can have 2 pens. Why don't I just make this one the pink one, and then I reduce it to 2.4, and I make this what type of pen? I'll make this a pen as well. Boom, there we go. And now, haha. Ooh, I can change what tools I have over here. Today I learned. And so I can make this like there's text, there's panning, there's rotating. So I am going to make this text. And I'm gonna make this text white. Where do I change color? There we go. Aha! I have learned. You fool! And save, like end typing. Control enter, alt enter, control. Get me out! Get me out! Ooh, no. Okay. You fool! How do I, like, leave it and drag it? Oh, okay, I just click elsewhere. Aha! I can move this around. Ooh, okay. Wonderful. Nice. I can mess around with text like this. Nice, okay. So, this actually makes work a lot faster for us. So, managing their emotions is something that is not easy. Reduces mental bandwidth. It's sure. Yeah, it's sure for sure. It's a lot of pre-work and it's not fast. So, damn, that's hard. And, well, I suppose by some metric it's fast. Because... Yeah, okay. And a feedback loop is... It's easy, reduces mental bandwidth, it's sure, it's low pre-work, and it's fast. Oh boy. That's actually insane to have students be able to see where they are without, like, especially like without tests. If there's some way to do it, is great at keeping them engaged. But, you know, that's a heavy if. So actually the if makes it not so sure. Damn. Because it's the style of feedback loop, right? If you show a student a test and they get a bad grade, they're gonna go like, oh, boo-hoo, I'm bad at doing the study thing. So anyways, decisions. We want to empower students, and to empower students, we need to make them feel like they have more control, more responsibility. So more responsibility to succeed, or responsibility to succeed. Came back. Oh, this track. Yeah, it should have been playing this and this. Where are we? Q. There we go. God damn, gonna learn again. No? Okay, what came back? Responsibility to succeed. Oh, it didn't display the board for a sec? Oh shit, my bad. Oh right, because when I did this, I suppose. Oh, never mind. Ooh, I should have kept track of that. Haha. So yeah, over here, the responsibility to succeed, like students' responsibility to succeed, is very important for empowering them, right? Because when you feel like you can, like, see, okay, look, if you give students a button and if they press it, they get an A automatically, right? Got swearing 4K, huh? I wonder what I said. Anyways, um, if you give students like the responsibility to succeed, right? Ha ha ha! It is family friendly, or I try my best to be. So I see. PG-13. I think I'd say the channel is PG-15 at best because like a lot of the stuff I'm going to talk about is, I mean, I guess it's just PG-13, it's not 15, because like a lot of students are going to be like watching the stuff that I make, so I'd prefer to make stuff that they're able to like learn from. And I myself am in a way a student. We're all students in a way, because see, look, it's important for every teacher and honestly every human to be an eternal student, because see, there is no point, logically speaking, there is no point that any person, any human being, like stops learning. Because look, even if you have all the info, right, you're at 100 percentile of info, you know everything. The moment you stop seeking info, boom, something new's made, other people find out about it, you get pushed down to 99. Boom. That's as, like, it just happens in an instant. So you must always be seeking if you want to remain in the know. You need to always learn. You need to never stop learning. And you know the best part? The more you learn, the more you get good at learning. This is why people who know 4 languages are so incredibly amazing at, honestly, a person who knows 4 languages, right? And especially if they learned them later in their lives, like not didn't know them growing up, but learned them past the age of 20, those people are just probably going to be monsters at programming. It's going to be insane. So, where were we? Oh, I see. My poor browser has been nuked. Let me fix that. There we go. Yeah, but I'm sure by being Polish, you probably have learned both of those from like your childhood. So they're not any new learned languages. So if you learn 2 languages that aren't in your home country, past like what you already know, right? If you learn 2 languages that aren't from your home country, then you'll probably be a beast at programming. So that's something you can rely on. Use of kindness. Current literature reveals that most significant factor. Oh, literally just feeling respected is the most significant factor? Wait, most significant factor. Holy shit, what is the study which suggests this? Oh, come on, take me to the study. There we go, nice. So, collective essay. God damn it. One moment. What is this? It is exploring good teaching practices, need for improvement. Journal. You know what this is about? You don't know what what's about? Is this open access? No way, it's not. Damn, it's really open access. It's really not open access. Oh, maybe this one? That's annoying. I'm using Zen. It's a Firefox type browser. I like this one feature of Zen where I can do this. Where is that? Boom. Full screen. I can even go full screen harder like this. Haha. So, that's nice. I used to use that once. So, our goal here is to try and find how, well, that data point that we had, that it's the strongest indicator of highest, strongest? Yeah. Can I just press F11? F11 for what? I mean, I just did press F11 and I'm full screen. But I like being able to have like that, not full screen, like, so I can keep tabbing off. So for that, I like to have like the ability to open this and close this like that. So it's honestly doesn't really matter too much. Anyways, this is interesting. So kindness, respect, and empathy. Yeah. I mean, it's very helpful. I use it all the time. Just not when I'm doing the moment the tab is like done. Yeah, I will. I'll press it in exactly 8 minutes. Educators who work to create mutually respectful bonds with learners establish rich and satisfying learning environments that lead to positive learner outcomes. So they studied 2 university students, and yeah, I trust you. I'll just do it in 8 minutes. Ha 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 ha. I'm a programmer. We spam Control W, bro. We're filled with excitement and also trepidation. Blah blah blah. I mean, the data is pretty, like, it's not too significant for the outcome they're suggesting. They don't have too many people to really make a judgment that this is the most important thing. And unfortunately, the paper is like not free to access, so we're just gonna have to listen to them going, "Trust me, bro." Oh, there's a funny correlation here. Students who try to be kinder, teachers who try to be kinder will naturally end up doing higher effort activities to make students actually care. So the kindness necessarily isn't what's causing them to like learn better, but it's hard to say whether it's the kindness causing them to learn better or the fact that the teachers care more that's causing them to learn better. Even if the teacher's being mean, if they're doing like, if they like care a lot about the student actually passing, then that might be the same. We don't have data to support one or the other though. So all we know is that those who are kind, because of some result that comes from being kind, are causing students to get better grades. It's interesting. So let me put this here. Be kind. Lol. That's kind of also managing their emotions. So you know what? I'm gonna remove this from here. And here's your Control W. Boom. Renewable assignments. That's an interesting thing. Are they making assignments that never time out, that they can just do at any point? What's the idea behind that? So teachers have been trying to figure out how to teach. And some people try to use Twitter. Ooh, or Facebook or Instagram. And sometimes by playing games. And by using games and all of this stuff. Oh, they baited the they baited the students into playing games without them noticing. Haha. They learn the roles, they apply them, and eventually interpret their own actions. Ooh, okay. So that's actually really interesting. If you run simulations, so simulate the circumstances of inventing the idea, or I suppose actually coming up with what are synonyms of inventing. So like I'm trying to think of a certain type of inventing. It's like coming up with it from scratch, which isn't quite inventing. It's like close. Oh, I don't see it here. Oh well. I don't know, creating synonyms? Because I'm thinking like to actually derive, I'll just write deriving, whatever. Actually, that's the word I was looking for, lemao. Okay, so if we simulate the circumstances that allow students to derive, like, you know, what currently happens, the I don't know, things. Yeah, sure. If we simulate circumstances that actually allow students to derive things by means of like a game, an exercise, or just like if we somehow get them to like, you know, come up with the idea themselves, then they'll actually like feel a lot more powerful. When you show people that this like scary economics concept is just something that comes about when you give all of them 3 straws each and they have to try and maximize their straws, like they'll notice that, oh hey, I can work alongside other people, but I can also try to screw people over, and betrayal is cool, but then if I play multiple times, then betrayal will cause people to avoid me, and that is not good. So I have to be smart regarding the relationships that I maintain, right? The prisoner's dilemma really plays into economics there. Prisoner's dilemma being cooperation good, and betrayal is better only if you're only ever gonna interact with that person once ever. And for any repeated game, as in if you're ever gonna interact with the same person again ever in your life, it's actually better for you to be a nicer person as a strategy, because being bad and getting an advantage over somebody else who's trying to be good only works in short games, or games where this person has like no help, no person to help back them up. But if you're mean to people, all of these people who exist, if they do exist, are gonna be lost to you, and so you just get 1 point while they all get points off of each other. And yeah, so logically speaking, you should choose being nice over not. And because honestly, there's no reason to be mean. It's never accomplished anything. Let's see. So surveys have shown that, what's OER material? OER is open education resources. Oh, okay. So having free books is good, and having like creative teaching is good. And student creates an artifact has value beyond supporting its creator's learning. It's made public. Ooh, openly licensed. That's what renewable assignments. Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, that's actually so cool. So we can either have assignments that just like, we have assignments that people like make, they do something on a paper and then they toss that paper away, right? That's disposable assignments, right? Authentic assignments are assignments that help you understand the world beyond just like what you learn in class. Constructionist assignments are assignments that not only do you like make in class, but then you share that publicly. Like people will always be able to see what you did as in history. And that's constructionist assignments. And then renewable assignments are stuff that not only do you make in class, but in the future, other people end up looking at and using your assignment and, growing on it. And that's so cool. So, So this is actually something that could help them empower renewable assignments. That'll teach them that their work is so valuable, right? That other people might use them, and then knowing that other people are gonna see it, they're gonna realize that this like assignment that they're working on, right, is something that will just being able to work on something like this is going to benefit people after them. So it actually pulls on their social needs because everyone wants to have a community. People want happiness. People want to be respected. People want to, that's part of why people don't want to be bad at stuff, because they feel like, hey, if I'm good at something, people are going to like that about me. And the idea of pulling on their social needs is actually so genius. Oh, okay. That thing keeps getting nuked. What the hell? Come on, come back. Automatic boom. And let's see. Okay. And let's see. All right. I'll see you when you're back. So, learning about supply and demand is the foundation of any economics course. It's imperative to understand such content and interpret it in daily examples. So, this renewable assignment they had was to engage students to become co-creators of content, share that content, and be able to learn from them. Running experiments were done over here. These were a bunch of different experiments. Double auctions and elasticities experiments. I'll write these down. So we had double auctions. So double auctions and elasticity. Elasticity experiments. There we go. Experiments. So these double auctions and elasticity experiments, right? They're doing a lot for... Let me do one thing over here. I am going to increase this thing so that its colors can be seen better. So this one goes here. And I close this and I start putting my hand like this. So when you look at this, right? Social needs, elasticity experiments. These are important for oh, I should just practice doing this. So elasticity experiments and double auctions are important for kind of being able to show that you have a certain place you can be... Damn, I don't know what I was saying with words. But they're important to help people learn agency, to learn that they're able to do a lot and they're able to actually infer and derive what the actual economists ended up seeing, and how they came across certain thoughts, and getting that closeness to... Actually, this is interesting, to to be aligned in the perspective. So alignment. So actually I'll add a hypothesis line here. So alignment to inventor POVs can help them see that like they can inspires them to actually be an inventor themselves. Because see, look, if you were able to somehow prove that you could, cure cancer, you would absolutely try to show other people that, hey, look, I'm cool, I can do this. So that's quite interesting to have that kind of power, to feel powerful. I suppose that's a type of social need, to want to feel powerful. I will hydrate. One moment. Okay, so what we're hoping for over here is to find how how they went about doing this. What each group was given individual worksheet with costs are private and not shared, and they can only observe each other's values later. Ooh. Information is valuable because it is known in this theoretical game, but not in the real world. So you would be able to correctly derive the demand and supply for the market and compare to actual results of the auction. So you have reason to kind of understand what other people are trying to do. And so you're given incentive. That's interesting. So a game. Oop. Is that redo? Oh boy, it's gone. Oh, it's not gone. Aha. Okay. What's the key point for it? Does it say? No, it doesn't. Tragic. Okay, so we're hoping for people to be able to kind of understand how their how I suppose their dang it. Oh yeah, a game gives them inspiration to an incentive to actually, think deeply. So let me see this. Motivation or incentive. And this is weird, right? Motivation or incentive. And there's many different things that can actually challenge, like, lead to students, being incentivized or not incentivized, right? Because like you could technically say, hey, if you do well, I'll give you a pizza, and that could be motivation. But that's kind of silly because nice, welcome back. So motivation and incentives. So if you're able to find a deep incentive, right? Not something cheap, then you can lead to them actually, I suppose, wanting to grow and, give them agency. So a game is a great way to give them incentives. Actually, this doesn't need to be deep then. If you're able to bait them into wanting to, when you left the toilet and came back, the entire class 12 pages ahead of you coming back. Ha 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 ha. Don't worry, all we looked at was this. There's some kind of games, right, that renewable assignments had taught them, like, made them play, right? And they played some games. And I was like, damn, when you play games, you get motivated. And that motivation leads you to think and extract things from your brain. And that makes you grow. No, your humor's not trash. Everyone's humor is funny to them, and that's what's important. I laugh at the stupidest things, dude. Like the dog, where would it go? This, when I was talking in one of the previous streams, this is a dog called Timmy, and I do too. So this is, but I'm not really gonna do that in this stream. I think we're gonna keep uh we're gonna keep chat jokes more respectful. So it's the unfair right of the streamer to choose when I want to say something sus. Haha. So, anyways, to elaborate on bad humor, this is a dog called Timmy, and the joke was that in kinematics, there's two ways you can teach it. See, you can either have this ball being thrown and at an angle of something or the other, and it goes at some meters per second, and where does it land, right? And the question goes, so they're like, yeah, whatever, you calculate this meter for how far it goes for blah 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 based off some angle, right? That's boring. That you're not going to be engaged at all. You're going to go like, oh, math, I can't do that, that's scary. Other students say it's scary, and therefore it's scary. You know, I'm an art person, not a math person. I wasn't built for this, is what people are going to say, right? But then the same prof can go like this. Look, yesterday, my dog, Timmy, he pooped on the neighbor's porch. So, I'm gonna, this is me, and here's a baseball mitt. I'm gonna chuck that guy. I'm gonna chuck him at 30 meters per second at this angle to the dog pound. Boom. He's gonna go to the dog pound. He's pooped on enough porches. He's gotta go. And so, no, the dog is now inside this little baseball mitt. This was a zoomed in version of the dog. So, this dog is in my baseball mitt, and he's like small enough to fit in my hand. I'm gonna chuck him into the dog pound. So, how hard do I have to chuck little Timmy to make him go? I mean, when I chuck little Timmy this hard at this angle, how far is the dog pound when I'm gonna chuck him like that? Why is the dog 2 pixels? They don't call him little Timmy for nothing. He's really putting the little in it. Let me color him. This is little Timmy's real size. There you go. That's little Timmy. He fits in the palm of my hands, and now he's gonna fit in this dog pound. Hopefully in one piece. This is the tragedy of little Timmy. People will tell the story of how little Timmy got dunked into the dog pound for years to come. Anyways, that was my humor, right? And that's an example of how you can make stuff, I suppose, more like easy to absorb, right? And that's kind of what you see in kinematics. We ignore air resistance. The wind cannot carry him. Little Timmy's been chucked so hard that air resistance is negligible. R.I.P. little Timmy. Hopefully he will get his revenge someday, but that day is not today. R.I.P. little Timmy. Well, he's alive. He's healthy, probably. I hope. Whatever. So all of this was just to say that you play games with your students, they'll remember stuff because they'll feel more like they're in control of their own like destiny, because they got to play a game and find out that their decisions have practically show practical outcomes. So show practical outcomes of their learnings. So it's that thing, right? A lot of kids go like, oh, when am I ever going to use algebra? Oh my god, they teach us that in O levels or school, and I grew up and never had to use algebra in my job as a cashier. And see, like, while that might be true, things aren't necessarily taught to you because you'll have to use them in your life. They're taught to you to broaden your horizons. At some level, it's like, just because you're never gonna use a hammer, right? Except for a house repair maybe a few times in your life, doesn't mean that hammers shouldn't be shown to you. You shouldn't ever have to see what a hammer can do. So algebra is much the same way. It's a tool that you're taught. It is a power that you gain. It's a superpower. And then it's on you whether you want to use it or not. And I mean, it's fine if you don't. It's given to you for free. And nobody's taking it away from you, except for, sometimes yourself if you just don't want to use it. And see, unfortunately, one of the things with powers is that you also have to do the work to find out where you can use it, right? So if I had okay, so you know how a lot of these like superhero shows, right? They go like, I have a power of freezing water if I'm holding a glass under a certain size, right? That's gonna sound like a garbage power, right? It's not useless. I tend to use it now and then when I have to make notes, but today's session I've been experimenting with doing more art on the screen. Oh, yeah, sure. So, if you have like a superhero with their power, right? And they have like, I can freeze water only if I'm holding a glass under like 100 ml, right? That sounds like a stupid power. But then just having that power is good on its own. Why? I mean, if you're non-creative, you can just have cold water whenever you want, which is, I mean, it's a win. It's a win of sorts. But if you fling that water while you're freezing it, then that basically means anytime you have a glass of water, you're a lethal weapon. You can... No, this is specifically through a glass and under 100 ml, as I said before, right? But if you can freeze it instantly, right? Actually, this is the thing that I mentioned with like chucking the water and then freezing it midway is probably better than freezing a human. Because, see, freezing a human, right? You would need to like actually touch them. But if you can chuck ice shards at a person from any glass of 100 ml, that's like freaking... That's scary. That's insane. And with how fast you can fling like water at someone, that's gonna like, some of it might even pierce through them. It's gonna be rough. Like that dude's like shrapnel busted. We're not doing that one if this is all predicated on having this. So we can't expand from out there. Your power is specific, so like it has to follow these rules. Rule number 1, actually let me put this in pink so that it shows that it's not part of those notes. So let's get rid of all of this. So okay, power 1 has to be through glass. 2 has to be under certain thickness. It's probably pretty garbage to be able to produce that money unless you're able to handle the societal problems of producing money. Because if you could produce money, you would also need other people or the government to not want to, flag you for printing money. So that means you need to have reality morphing, which means you would need to have global mind control. And you would need to have something that prevents your country's currency from stealing money from the poor. So if the government finds out that you suddenly have more money in your bank where other people's money disappeared, then you would still be going to jail for being able to do that. If you steal money from the USA or rich people, then they would notice less money in their bank. Actually, if you're able to steal money from that far away, you might be safe regarding the US, but people in your country will still notice like that your bank suddenly has money coming in, which you can't explain. So your tax documents are going to get you screwed, and so you're going to go to jail, which means your power needs some kind of reality bending in order to function. So anyways, it has to be through glass, has to be certain thickness of glass, and has to be water, or rather pure water, and or minerals, so certain purity, certain level of purity, and has to be yeah, that's what I said, reality bending, to prevent people from noticing that. Which I suppose, like, I mean, yeah, reality bending is a pretty strong power. So you can use it for yoinking money from a different place. Reality bending is a pretty damn good power. So yeah, it has to be water pure. Yeah, it's anyway, so if you have something like this, right, it feels like a lame power until you're able to find out how to use it. To just like chuck frozen like ice on someone and like freeze it while it's splashing on someone. So like by freezing it as soon as it exits the glass, you'll have to learn like how to freeze it at that time, because the timing is going to be really, really nasty with such a thing like this, right? Because once it's out of the glass, you can't freeze it anymore. But see, it's like this, like learning how to utilize such an interesting power. It would be like algebra is much the same. To be able, it's an insane power you're given, but most people will use them for the most boring things possible. And so you're often going to lose sight of like how powerful it can be. And so most people will live lives telling you the lie that, oh, hey, it's useless. Why did they teach us that? But that's not that's useless. It's that people are ignorant to its use, which is just a reality of life. So, and you know what? Like, what are we even learning? Well, what we're learning is that your power and we're still on learning how to learn. Actually, you see, all who wander are not lost. See, all who wander are not lost. So you said, 1, we are learning about hex PvP and learn how to learn it. And yeah, we learned how to learn things. You put info in, you take info out. And you don't make assumptions or excuses about the other people. You focus on my hand bugged? No, it seems fine. Oh, right. Okay, yeah, when I'm drawing with a pen. Yeah. When I start drawing with a pen, for some reason, it like bugs out. It's very weird. I have to fix that. So, when we're, when we're learning all of this, right? Not all who wander are lost, right? Which means that if you, learning about hex PvP, right, is showing us how even in this case of this game I've never heard, actually doing the things that help you grow will help you grow, because that's just how the brain works. So if you complain about people being better than you, then people will continue being better than you while you complain and cry, because boo-hoo never fixed anything. Then we talked about dog, because see, empowering students, well, keeping students engaged requires haha funny meme slides. And if you're able to show chucking a dog into a dog pound, that is haha funny chuck. And if you're able to, like, all of these things go into that idea that, you see, if you really need, oh yeah, sorry, that I had to mention the third thing, which was the power. Your ability to use your superpower if you've watched My Hero Academia, right, you're gonna see there's this dude called Mirio, and he has a power of like phasing through the ground. What's important for his power is that's kind of very useless until he learned to use it. Just like that, the glass of water that freezes. Actually, if you don't know about it, I have to actually explain it. Dude, he goes in, like he exists, right? And this is the ground. He can go through the ground, but then he can't breathe while he's in the ground. And if he goes really deep into it, right? I suppose he can sneak through like buildings, but then there's other people with crazier powers that can do that a lot better. So he's kind of like, it sucks for him. But what he learned is that if he focuses on his physical fitness, he can do something. He can go deep in here, hold his breath, and then kind of rubber band outwards really fast. And then if he times his power just right, he can even go through people to hit the person behind them. Or he can, after hitting someone, right, he punches this guy, he can go into the ceiling and then try to change his angle so that he can rubber band outwards from a different direction. So that's like a very creative way for him to use his power. That's very cool. And to be able to survive actually flying like that, I was talking about some dude's power and how it's useful. So, 1, he go in. He go in. Into the ground. 2, he rubber band out. So, he goes out. But he goes out really fast. And 3, he can turn it on or off in midair. So his power is to go through things. This character is able to actually make his power useful because he's creative with it, just like the glass of water and just like what we are talking about in education, which is creativity in using stuff like math and being able to show people what they can do with that creativity is incredibly important in creating practical outcomes, showing people how powerful they are having learned what they learned. And I don't know why this keeps going like that. Maybe I just try to set it to... What if I do this? Wait, not window. Window of the same type, I suppose. Let's do this. Wait. If I draw over here and then jump back. Huh, it worked this time. So maybe that fixed it. Who knows? Anyways, our like goal right now is still the same, but like it's cool to see how certain ways of presenting a certain power or using a certain power can lead to, well, such amazing outcomes. And the stuff you learn in school is much the same. Anything you decide to learn, you can use in different ways. Let's see. Yeah. Aha, how the time flies when you're having fun. Oh, I've already looked at this paper before, actually. Boom, let's get rid of this. And this. And this. Let's see this one. Simulation as a tool has evolved at an unprecedented pace. And let's see. When we use simulation, right? Which is, kind of showing how to do something in a real-ish life scenario, which is a game. Nice. They include rote learning, blah, blah, blah. Include, well, having fun is fun. So, there's lots of different ways to have fun. So for you, if grinding 24/7 nat works, then it works. Though, fun is an interesting concept because, okay, there's one of the points that I wrote down over here, right? One of the realities of life is that we have very poor self-assessment. So if you're you're struggling with not the best thoughts, then you might not be having as much fun as you think. So you should really find professional evaluation to see what you can do about it. Because it's hard to say how much is actually fun and how much we are deluding ourselves to run from our problems. So usually the strategy for learning is very like vague. It's very hard to see what strategy teachers are using. And so it's very important to kind of think about and understand what type of strategy they're using. And there's 3 categories they've named here: behaviorism, cognitivism, and constructivism. And each of these involves repetitive practice, feedback, personal blah blah blah, personal group reflection, and a safe learning environment. And yeah, that makes sense. Cognitivism and constructivism involve movement from dependent to independent learning. Let's see how this works. This one is blah 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 blah. The human mind is a memory bank, and the teacher helps teach. And they say you should rote learn, repeat skills, and learn things in components. And oh, okay, I see. So you're saying that putting multiple components down together. Oh, all right. Have a great rest of your day, Olak. Yippee! So yeah, I hope you like take these lessons to heart. The blaming other people accomplishes nothing, and if you truly want to be happy, you must break the cycle of sadness. See you. No, that's fine. So, fair enough. Hey, at least you found that. So, behaviorism is for, like, being able to put together, like, see you later, have a good rest of your day. So, behaviorism is about actually putting together, like, components of your learning. So that means actually looking at, for instance, each individual action and putting them together and learning how these things come together, which makes sense. It sounds very normal. And good night, I guess then. Hey, look, it's like night where I'm as well. Basically, it's like 7. So, day, night, it's all the same here on the internet. So it manifests themselves behaviorally. Huh? What am I looking at? I've lost myself. Blah blah blah. Foundations of a career is by giving a body of facts. Application of facts leads to problems. Okay. Have facts, have problems. Connect fact to problem. That makes sense. Conditioning theories of learning are also helpful in maximizing simulation design. Skinner developed the... Ooh, thanks for the follow, Olak. Skinner developed the best-known conditioning theory termed operant conditioning. If a behavior is positively reinforced through conditioning, a response is more likely to occur. They can respond to certain stimuli. Huh? I still don't get it. Okay, one more. To be conditioned by positive reinforcement can help them respond to stimuli better. And so that means conditioning theories are teaching people through fast stimuli, which I suppose I can see in certain types of activities, but it doesn't look like it would leak into everything. I'll have to see more about it when they talk about it. Connectionism espouses that the most fundamental type of learning involves the forming of associations between sensory experiences, neural, and manifesting themselves behaviorally, which makes sense. If you connect things to memories, it makes sense that you would be able to, well, expand outwards from your memories and learn things. So that makes sense. It would be the most fundamental in a way. So let's see. The positive aspects of behavioral theory include the development of skills in response to certain stimuli, and assurance that learners will respond in similar ways when in similar circumstances. The right outcome can be conditioned and repeated, and focus on judgment and critical thinking and analysis has become a criticism of behaviorism. Yeah, because if you teach people from like to just repeat some patterns and then not understand why those patterns exist the way that they do, I suppose it's good in the short term, but not the best in the long term. It's challenging. It depends on how deep you really want them to get in their learning. And so if you actually like challenge getting deep into your learning, then if you think about something in a way where it's a pattern rather than something that has a logical basis, you would be specialized towards following that pattern. But unfortunately, life has more than just simple patterns, and being able to think of exceptions becomes an impossibility. That's one problem with it. And another would be that while exceptions might be like 0.02% of the case, and you might never have to do it in your career potentially, right? There's a huge lack of fulfillment in seeing something as, I don't know, simple as 3 or 4 patterns, even if that ends up the reality of your specific situation. And so even in its best case, it would hurt people from being able to grow. I have to BRB for a sec, so one sec. Aha, I have returned. All right, let's get into this. We got behaviorism, which is the earliest educational philosophy, which says there are three components. Wait, sorry, it doesn't say it's three components, but it says that the human mind is a memory bank, and all you have to do is passively copy paste things. Haha. And that's where rote learning, repetition, pre-briefing, modular learning, etc. comes from, where you just find like your taught pattern, you copy paste pattern. Connectionism is the conditioning, and connectionism are the other two ones, where conditioning means you fail and learn. So wait, actually that's pretty interesting. They're all fundamental in like some ways. So what you do is, if you look at all three of these in caveman ways, right? Let's look at this in pink. So we have behaviorism, and in a caveman sense, what this basically is it's being told to do pattern, and that promotes like authoritarian way of seeing education, because the goal becomes to just do thing, and doing thing is like something that, well, it's not all that complicated. It doesn't have nuance. You're simply taught to do thing, and no nuance actually leads to that. So that's let me actually dotted line here. No nuance and no fulfillment, and that's what, like, that makes sense, because what are you supposed to do when you're just told to do A leads to B, right? And that is something that would happen to people. If you go fight T-Rex with spear, you will die. So people say don't fight T-Rex. So actually, let me put this. Don't fight T-Rex. Ooga. Ooga, no fight T-Rex. Bad. Ooga die. So that's like not great. It's like you won't understand why not to. Oh my god, my screen. Nah. Why does it die like that? One day I will understand. I gotta figure out why that happens, by the way. Ooh, okay, I see. Maybe forcing SDR is gonna hurt the text, will it? Huh. I wonder why that happens. Maybe using a filter on it will prevent it from... No, that doesn't make sense. That wouldn't explain why. Oh well, we will find that out when we find it out. So anyways, where were we? So conditioning theories of learning is about it's about mucking around. Muck around. Sorry. Muck about. And I don't know. Mind out. Muck around and discover. So muck around and discover is connectionism. Connectionism? Conditioning, right. Conditioning. So mucking around discovering is conditioning, which makes sense because you see, if you like fail, then you're gonna go, oh, I should not fail when I get slapped in the face, it hurts. So I should not get slapped in the face. And that makes sense. That's it's a very free approach. Like, it's not doing pattern, it's do outcome, I suppose. Yeah, do outcome. Which is interesting because on this gives you the freedom. Wait, not exactly the freedom. It's kind of okay, wait. How would you define this freedom? See, the thing is, when you have like this outcome being found, right? When you when you, I suppose, get this I can't find the word. Yeah, so if you like, you're free in a limited scope, right? So you're free based off of your own findings, right? So you're free in that you're like with, and it's narrow-sided freedom. So in a narrow sense, because if you're conditioned to learn not to get slapped, you might end up making assumptions off of that every person walking up to you is trying to slap you, right? And that's not good, because it again, limited nuance, but it's fulfilling because it's your experience, and that makes sense because people want to have the agency of finding out, because, or rather, muck about and discover. And that's what's playing in over here. And if you look at connectionism, right? Connectionism espouses that the most fundamental type of learning involves the forming of associations between sensory experiences, stimuli, or events. And what all that yap means is that connectionism is about just kind of finding out when, like, talking to other people, I suppose. So like when you learning, forming associations between sensory experiences and neural impulses manifest themselves behaviorally. No, that's not it then. Law of exercise, which suggests that practice and the connection between the stimulus and response, and disuse weakens it. Doing something, employing repetition strengthened with the law of exercise can be. What is connectionism then? I don't get it. Connectionism. It's not what I thought it would be. Let's see. Is an approach to study that utilizes you AI over you. Get out of my face. You stinky. Is that AI over you? Overview? No, it's Wikipedia. Safe. Okay. Is an approach to the study of human mental processes and cognition that utilizes mathematical models known as connectionist networks or artificial neural networks. Connectionism has had many waves since its beginnings. Okay, I'm tired of reading like that. Let's see. What is all of this? I don't care about its history. I need to know what it is. Not in neural networks. I need to know what it is in philosophy. Wait, no, that is in cognitive science. Oops. Okay. Explain abilities using. Oh, okay. It's that type of neural networks. I see. So brains as neural networks which connect different ideas and backpropagate, and they're talking about it in such detail that I feel like I won't be able to. Let's see where I can make it about human behavior and how humans can learn, or something that's relevant more to pedagogy. Wide range linguistic phenomena, speech perception, speech production, semantic representation, lexical development in children. The application of connectionism to bilingual research has gained momentum. They are often precise in the specification of modeling parameters and flexible in manipulation of blah blah blah. Okay, so what type of learning is connectionism? Ooh, this one's probably gonna be useful. About how it processes info. It forms connections between words and meanings. The more you practice, the stronger these connections become. Okay, so it's saying, oh, okay, it's looking at these in a way more fundamental way than I was thinking. So this is just like, practice and so connectivism is to, I suppose, learn. So, this is just to learn. This is to learn. And unfortunately, this idea of learning is connected with repetition for some reason, even though it doesn't need to root from it. And so, like, it's not as, it's free, I guess. It's free as can be, right? Because if you learn about something, you are free because you can use that info however you want, but it doesn't necessarily lead to an outcome or a pattern, right? So if somebody teaches you programming and, you know, says that you have to make a website, you're probably going to go like, how the heck does this turn into a website? But like, that if you were conditioned by trying to make a website and getting like smacked every time you do anything that's not HTML, you will probably make a website. Or if you just make websites and never think about like the stuff you're using to make it, then you will end up making a ton of websites because of behaviorism. So good output, but that's not what you want. So just like read. So you see, get out, shoo. Okay, so positive aspects of behavioral theory include the development of skills and responses to stimuli and their place in nursing education. It's not concerned with creativity or autonomy of learners and is less concerned with solving the problem. It could be said that behaviorism has a reductionist approach. The influence of cognitivist and constructivist philosophies has proved valuable in simulation design. Learning to the cognitivist involves a move away from stimulus response modes of learning to focus on students' beliefs. The drive to produce an optimal state of equilibrium between cognitive structures and the environment is the primary motivating force behind cognitive development. An example of accommodation occurred when students were shown a model clip of lecturers caring for a Croup baby in crisis. The model clip had showed administration of nebulized medication before the intramuscular injection. Students had performed that. Okay, so they were just saying that like being able to reorganize experiences, right? And like, you know, what you do with the info is the strongest, like, is the thing that's most important. And I personally like that idea. So let's see what they're saying on that. So let's see. People can learn actions by watching others. Yeah, I guess. And right, so yeah, sorry. So wait, why is this bugging out? There we go. There we go. So, the cognitive notion impacts simulation design in the area of pre-briefing material and blah blah blah, build learning into cognitive schema. The work inspired thoughts on how to maximize development. Yeah, okay. I don't get any of this so far because they haven't said anything yet. Students learn by watching. And the drive to produce an optimal state. We'll end right after this paper. Accommodation refers to changing internal structures. Accommodation occurred when students are cloned clip. They performed the simulation by like doing what they did in the clip. And because they had learned, they were able to attach the reason why. And where schemas can make learning more meaningful, a learner is at a disadvantage when they don't have prereq knowledge. And a process named bootstrapping, which involves the creation of new representational resources which are more powerful than those present at the outside. That's interesting. They must first facilitate the innate representations. They must describe how these target concepts differ from those. And they must characterize the learning mechanisms that enable the construction of new concepts. I need to look at that. So, what is bootstrapping over here? Let's read its definition. Oh, and this should be set to this. Wonderful. So we need to find out why this is ooh, actually I just realized something I can do. Let's go back to our drawing and we can actually adjust this to let's find this, and we are going to we already have client area. That thing up there just stays. Ooh, tragic. Oh well. Over here, bootstrapping is a self-starting process that is supposed to continue or grow without external input. Okay. And okay, bootstrapping just means self-starting. So which makes sense why people say pulling yourself up from your bootstraps. So in order to bootstrap, you must first specify the innate representations that build the building blocks. Second is when the target concepts differ from those innate representations. And third is when they must characterize the learning mechanisms. So what is that? Know how it works. Know why it's different from like current existing building blocks. And be enabled to. Oh, okay. That's kind of vague. Like you are telling them that a situation, like something exists and how the concepts are different from the schema that already exists. So that I don't know how many people would be able to be in a position to do this. So wait. You're saying that cognitivism carries the notion that learning involves the reorganization of experiences. So if you just oh, okay, I see. If you're exploring something new, right? You would struggle from being a person who always does the research before going in, because you would not be able to find different ways of, like, for example, if you have a new video game, right? To be able to frame it in a new way, you would need to be able to, like, you'd need to be in a position where you find, I suppose, going words for a certain thing or categories that you define yourselves, and you have to like find out why or how your chosen categories differ from ones that other people are using, and then you have to, well, do it. In constructivism, they develop by a process of active construction and reconstruction of theory in practice. Going to Dewey, telling students what to do will not embed new ways of thinking and acting. Learners must be allowed the freedom to consciously search for new ways of responding, while being given the freedom to find their own solutions. These solutions are further refined when students interact with a matured social medium. This combination of student search intermingled with facilitator input allows for knowledge construction in a manner which situates the learner firmly in the driver's seat, a concept at the heart of constructivist thought. Okay, so what are our conclusions? Simulating is a platform, not a teaching method. That I don't know about that. I'm so like, I don't agree with that. I don't know what makes this paper be able to claim that. I see how these three exist, and I see how they can, like, each of them have the potential to maximize simulation, but it's, I guess, okay, yeah, you need a strategy to guide this tool. So he's claiming that it on its own is not a strategy. It's a tool because it can be guided with strategies, which makes sense. That makes sense now. I understand. Okay, but that doesn't really. That's just, this guy is like, he's just letting us know. So yeah, okay. So that is it for today's stream. So I'm gonna be closing this, and I am going to be finding out something